Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Deja Vu here, bringing you set 3 of Samsung Khan versus SKT1. This series is tied up. This is going to be a match between Terran, putting his 100% win rate in one game on the line, versus SKT1's great Bisu, the Revolutionist. This is going to be on, it appears, Fighting Spirit. Fighting Spirit, a very, very fun map, a very, very standard map, a very, very macro intensive map. That is, I can't stress that enough, how macro intensive this game, this map usually becomes. I'm sure there are ways, of course, to turn this into a micro fight. There are ways to turn every map into a micro fight, but just looking at the map, it usually turns into a standard macro play. It's going to require great strategy. It's going to require great army control, a large army control usually. Unless you go for some kind of all-in push pretty early on, like a 5-fact push or something for Terran. And yeah, it's been pretty balanced so far between Protoss and Terran. I believe it's about 50%, so no one really has an edge yet. This map is pretty balanced overall in every matchup. I don't think anyone's really gotten too big of an advantage so far. We've got Bisu at the top right and Terran in the top left. There are 12 bases on Fighting Spirit, separated into quadrants, top left, bottom, yeah. You know, pretty much into the corners of the map. There's 12 bases, all of which have minerals and gas, and then there's a center expansion similar to how Andromeda is, with a double gas and a bunch of minerals that are half mined out, whatever, but they can come into play later on. And yeah, for sure, we got Terran gonna go for an early expansion here. It looks like, throwing down his barracks forward. Actually, no, not a. It's just a forward barracks, but his supply depot's at his normal spot. They're getting his refinery at the normal time. So yeah, everything's kind of normal time. It's just that barracks is kind of in a forward spot. Maybe gonna lift that off a little bit earlier and get some scouting out. And Bisu, being a I don't know what to call him, but I don't know what to call this move. But Bisu is going for a 12 next. Bisu just 12 next turn. Poor Terran. If Terran doesn't scout this out, if that SCV goes to the bottom left first after it's finished at that barracks and scouts this out last. Oh, poor Terran. Poor Terran. He's just gonna be pretty much drawing dead already. Well, maybe not drawing dead, but he's gonna be in a bad spot to start. He's gonna be definitely behind. If this is a late scout, he's got an early Marine gonna pop up as well, which is interesting. Gotta say, it's interesting to see that early Marine being built already. Normally, you don't really see too many Marines being produced, and it is going to the bottom left. So this is going to be a very, very late scout for Terran, which is so tragic. There's the first probe coming out for Bisu, gonna get the scout off. And Terran did not see which direction that probe came in, so he's not turning around at all. Or probably, even if he knows, he's not too sure, because that's like a pylon or a gateway scout. Well, you still don't know for sure whether it's bottom right or where else. Got a factory coming up right now for Terran as well. And we'll see how he decides to counter this 12 next once he scouts this out. He's about to scout it out, but the 12 next should be just about warped in, if not already warped in. There it is, warping in. He sees this right now, and turns like, what the hell did you do, BC? What did you think you're doing? And we're seeing SCVs off the line. We're gonna see Bisu's gonna get bunker rushed. We're gonna get to see some Bisu micro versus Terran micro, and Terran is pretty baller. So I'm interested to see how his micro holds up against the great micro god of Bisu. Throwing up that bunker already, tons of probes coming off the line. Gonna try and stop these Marines from getting into that bunker, but if that bunker gets built, these Marines could just run by. One Marine does go down. Looks like there's one more Marine left alive, but a couple. Oh, and the first Zealot is out as well. We got a ton of SCVs though. If those SCVs can block for that, oh, not very good blocking for those for that Marine. Come on, bunker, get up! That bunker's up, and the Marine gets into it. Oh yeah, good play by Terran, getting that bunker up. Needs to resupply with a couple more Marines just to make that bunker more powerful. He's got vultures out. Could go for some mines as well if he really wants to put the pressure on. Throw down some mines inside Bisu's base. Could be some Bisu ponage. Bisu throwing down, it looks like a third gateway, so he's gonna try and macro up some Dragoons. Gonna get that range upgrade probably up and running. Once he gets that range upgrade, he can outrange that bunker. If he doesn't have time for that, depending upon how much life his Nexus has, depending upon how many Marines get actually into that bunker, he can probably just throw in a couple Zealots and charge it with everything he's got and try and keep it alive, because he cannot really afford to let this the Nexus go down, that's for sure. And he is gonna try and stop these SCVs from taking extra bonus pot shots at at the bunker at least, and Turn's just gonna repair. SCVs repairing each other. That's awesome. Here comes a Vulture as well in support. Probably gonna make it very, very difficult for Zealots to do any sort of a run by, for Zealots to do much of anything. And this Nexus is gonna go down. Bisu is gonna lose his 12 Nexus. Gonna lose this ploy. So cool. Well, maybe not. Oh man, he's pulling off tons of Dragoons. Oh man, he's pulling everything off at the very last second. This is gonna be so close. Pulling everything off. Looks like Turn, if he can just micro this, Turn can pick off a lot of probes right now. Turn should be focusing down those probes with those Vultures, but he's gonna place down some mines, and Bisu trying to micro as well as he can. We've got mines everywhere. It is those mines! Oh my god, those probes very barely survived. So close to going down all those probes, and another Dragoon goes down, one Dragoon left, and that Nexus looks like it's gonna survive with its, what is that, 100 health? I couldn't read that. Oh man, Bisu, you baller dog, you barely keeping that Nexus alive. I want to say there's 124 health left on that. Not completely sure. And some nice micro by Bisu taking down the rest of those mines. Looks like Turn's also going to be taking this opportunity to throw up his own command center. So doing some good damage there, keeping Bisu on the back foot. Going to be able to get his base up and running. Probably not faring too far behind, really, considering how much damage he did to Bisu, and should be able to work his way back into this. I don't think he's too far behind. I'd still say Bisu's probably slightly ahead, as long as that Nexus doesn't get sniped by anything in the next few minutes. I'd say Bisu is slightly ahead, but it's pretty darn close. For sure. Turn looks like doing some good damage with that bunker rush. We got a Robo Bay coming up for Bisu as well. I'm gonna go for some shuttle play, maybe probably just for some observers. 3 factories coming up for Turn now, so he's gonna be macroing up pretty heavily off of these 2 bases with those early factories. He's definitely gonna be going for some 2 base play here. He's got 3 tanks all out already, so he's got a lot of tanks. Probably has siege mode completed. Can't imagine him throwing up all those extra factories without having siege mode completed. A couple extra gateways coming up as well. For Bisu, going to try and macro up, and I think Turn is going to be going for another big push coming up here in about a minute. He's going to come up with those 3 factories worth of, should be pumping out units, probably pumping out some Vultures, maybe 1 more tank, and it's going to push out right now, actually, with 3 tanks of Vulture and a few Marines, looks like a couple SCVs as well. Going to push out right now. I don't know if Bisu sees this coming. He's going to see a couple units right now, but he doesn't know whether this is just for mines or part of a bigger push. Doesn't know quite yet, but he's going to see the SCV, going to see the tanks, and now he knows that it's part of a bigger push. It doesn't look like siege mode is done, otherwise I think Turn would be sieging up right now. We got some mines being placed, and these tanks doing tons of damage right now to the Dragoons. And trying to do a mine drag, but the tanks being pulled back by Turn. Some very nice microplay by Turn, able to protect those Dragoons. Good job, or protect those tanks. Good play by him. And I'm just using these tanks to pick off as many of these Dragoons as he can, keeping them all alive so far. Some very nice micro so far by Turn. Been very impressed. Very impressed by this, and the mine actually may not have gone off there. Observer is out, so it's able to pick everything off right now. And Turn just using every Vulture, just using 1 Vulture at a time to block, using them as they are produced, and sending in his tanks to pick off Dragoons 1 by 1, doing a fantastic micro. Jeez, Turn, this is sick micro by Turn. Hasn't lost a single tank yet. Is just picking off Dragoon after Dragoon. That is awesome play by him. But it looks like finally the 4 gateways worth of units have finally picked up, and it looks like he's going to have to back off. Turn would be very well served to back off right now before he loses too many tanks, losing 1 tank right now, placing down some mines, with some nice mines going up, picking up more Dragoons. Turn, you sick baller, man, look at him, his hands are going nuts. He's like, oh my god, I actually have a chance versus the great Bisu. Look at this, I'm actually in this game, and Turn's doing fantastic with these tanks, doing absolutely great. Another mine going off, doing some more damage to these Dragoons, coming up with some more Vultures, and oh no, your tanks have to be behind